Hey, welcome back. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm breaking down a massive brand we all know and love, IKEA. But instead of just talking about meatballs or their flat pack furniture, we're going to dive into their online presence, specifically their website, their product positioning, ad strategy across Facebook, Instagram, and Google. All right, now IKEA is not in the middle of some big rebrand, but even global brands can leave stuff on the table. And as someone who helps e-commerce businesses improve performance every day, I think there's a lot to learn from looking at a brand this size. Whether you're a small brand or looking for inspiration or a performance marketer curious about how the big dogs operate, stick around. I'll be sharing what IKEA nails and what I would change if this were my account. Little pun there for you. All right, so right off the bat, IKEA's homepage is doing a lot, as you can probably imagine, which is kind of their thing. We get a ton of categories. We get a banner for their loyalty offer, some curated collections, trending searches, lifestyle inspiration. It's really all packed in here. And I do think, even though there's a lot going on, they do keep their navigation pretty clean. And it's great that they have multiple navigation points throughout the website so that you can get to what you need. I will say too, this is a super fast loading website, so kudos to them for that. And I do love that, not all of their shots are product shots. They've got some like lifestyle kind of setups here. Someone's, cooking a piece of chicken. So then you can really see some of their products in action. I think it really gives it a lot more flair. I will say that in some areas it does get a little bit confusing as to like what some of the actions are here. So I would make some of the buttons or CTAs a little bit more clear, especially if you are targeting an older demographic. Maybe they don't know to click on the photo or they can't see the learn more. So adding larger CTAs would be helpful. They do that well here, but not across the entire website. And then something else that I would maybe add here as well is like adding some information about like, oh, are you like a first-time homeowner? Are you moving into a new apartment? Are you going into the dorm? Having sections like that I think would be really helpful to get people to exactly where they would like to be. And then they have only one real like kind of loyalty member call to action, but not much besides that to generate any sort of urgency. So, all right, let's talk about products. Let's look at the Malm. This is a bed frame that they've got here. So let's look through this. It looks like they've got a lot of information here. They've got some product details, what's included, measurements, questions, and answers. I like that they have this. They have the reviews down here as well, plus some other accessories, which is great, plus related products in case you want a different color. I will say their product page is very straightforward. I think it gets you exactly the information that you need, and the options for selecting like sizes and different options I think are very easy. I would move the add to bag a little bit higher up in the page though to really get people to click on that, but I do like how easy it is to rotate through the colors. The only thing I would add here is adding some more lifestyle shots that aren't like cut off like this. This is not a bad one because then you see the whole bed, but like this, I only see part of the bed, which is great. But how does this look compared to a person? That kind of thing, especially if you don't have an IKEA store, actually there with you. And then of course, adding some more, contextual shots, lifestyle, that kind of thing, I think would be helpful. Okay, and then they do have social proof, which is great with the reviews. And then I do like that they have like this complete with, and then it's really easy to just add this on. So some of the things that I would do to upgrade this is just making it a little bit more obvious, like what this would look like if a person was using this. What would this look like in different lighting situations, that sort of thing. And then maybe having some user-generated content instead. I think, people buy from what they see other people doing, and if you had some pictures like that, I think that would be cool. All right, now let's move over to Ad Center. So this is their Google Ads. As you can see here, they are running under the name IKEA, which is great, and they're running a ton of ads. And this is just for IKEA US. They actually have multiple international branches that they're running ads under. So that's pretty interesting. As you can see there, they do have like a ton of site links on their ads. It looks like they're running a lot of search ads. So that's kind of interesting. Something that I am noticing throughout here though is that it's really focused on the product rather than the solution that they're offering. And it doesn't feel like there's too much, like relatability to it. I do like though that they are running some shopping ads, of course, with their difficult to pronounce names for us Americans. But I would add maybe a little bit more solution focused ads on here. And then let's go to Facebook. So they are running Facebook ads. Again, I clicked on IKEA US, but it's giving me some different languages, which is good because, America is very multicultural. So I'm glad that they're actually adding in different languages here. And it looks like they're running quite a few ads, some product focused, some more lifestyle focused. Overall, it has that very clean IKEA aesthetic. And what I would probably do here is the same as Google, basically adding in the solution focused designs here. They kind of have that in here, and they kind of have that in here. But adding more like how can this solve my small apartment storage problem, or what can I do to make my living room more comfortable, things like that. And then the only other thing here that I would recommend maybe is, like I said earlier, adding in some UGC to really liven it up. All right, so if I had 90 days to boost IKEA's performance, here's where I would start. I would cut some of the clutter on the homepage. I would lead with real use cases and have some more UGC and give people an easier way to say, oh, that's what I need. Also making call to actions a little bit more obvious and easy to click for some of the buttons. And then for product pages, I like the product page. I wouldn't change too much about that other than adding in more like contextual images with people in them and maybe some UGC. And then for ads, of course, adding a little bit more warmth, adding a little bit more of a solution-based focus, and UGC I think would be helpful. And then overall, the whole buying process of the store was pretty organized, so I'm glad to see that that wasn't too difficult to use, but I could see how sometimes there'd be a little bit too much information. So here's the big picture. IKEA's built a digital experience that's very consistent, it's very clean, and it's very optimized for utility, but it's also a little bit cold, so some more warmth, some more people, some more personality, that would really boost up this, I think, for a lot of Americans, at least, looking to buy new furniture. So if you run an e-commerce brand, please take notes. IKEA's scale is super impressive, but some of their blind spots are easy wins for smaller brands. So if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button. I do brand audits like this every week. So let me know in the comments what brand you would like to see next. Catch you in the next one.